Good morning, everyone. I'm Laurent Buisson. I'm the Dean of AgroParisTech. And Julia Zinsmeister, who is being wired when I'm talking, is one of our new assistant professor. And we are going to try to tell you a little bit about how we try to meet the challenges of One Health in research, education and society. And you will see that first, this is work in progress. So we are just starting a new project. And second, that we made the decision to focus on public decision making and especially on public decision makers. My colleague Alessia Lefebvre, who will speak later this morning, we will present another French project that is not focused on public decision makers, but on over audiences. A few words maybe on AgroParisTech. So we are an institution of higher education based in south of Paris. And we try to address, as probably all of you, global challenges of the 21st century. We are based mainly in the Great Paris area, but we have other locations in France, in Nancy, in Lorraine, where we deal with forest engineering. But we are also based in Montpellier and Kourou in French Guyana, in Latin America, where we work on tropical ecosystems and tropical forests. So we are naturally exposed as an institution to different types of environment. And naturally, on other campuses, we work on agronomy, animal sciences, plant sciences, food industry. We are an institution of higher education. We educate at master's and doctoral level. And we also have some programs, executive programs or advanced master's programs. And when I told you at the beginning of my presentation that we decided to focus on the education of future or current public decision makers, this is just because among our 3,000 students, we educate the future high-ranking civil servants, future public officers in charge in France of agriculture, food, and the environment. More than that, we are also in charge of the general education of all future public civil national officers, even those who have an administrative background. We are in charge of giving them some education about the environment and sustainable development. We do research with our 250 academic staff. We have 24 research units and 5 innovation labs. And our research activities are focused on agriculture production and forestry, food and non-food processing, microbiology and human health. We work in a collaborative environment with other institutions of higher education and research. That's true for the Great Paris area. We are based in Saclay, and we are actually one of the schools of the University of Paris-Saclay. And we can cooperate with other schools, for instance, the School of Medicine. They work a lot on air pollution, the impact of air pollution on human health. We also work a lot with other schools in the area of digital and data. And now I'm going just to leave the floor to Julia, who is going to present you some examples of what we are currently doing in education for the environment.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay. So now I'm going to give you more details about how we tackle the challenge in the One Health from research and education perspective, but also how we take advantage of being in this surrounding, which is called Paris-Saclay area, to promote the One Health. So I'm going to give you two case study examples, so you know you will be able to know more in details what we exactly do and how we can do it. So a first example is about the environmental health. First we have an education program targeting final year master students, so engineering students equivalent to master 2 level. And this specialty is called Metatox, and it aims to educate engineers to be able to identify, characterize and manage toxicological risk for environment and human health. So in this education program, we have a multi- and transdisciplinary approach where we gather scientists from different research and education departments. So as an example, we mix here researchers coming from life and health sciences, but also with our colleagues from agronomy, and also with a pillar in social and economic sciences. So all together, we want to promote our students to work on real case studies. So we promote them to work in groups on specific projects, and we want those projects to be local. So we organize visits in the surroundings of the Parisian area, so they can really spot a specific problem. For example, study or characterize the pollution level of a specific river in relation with the agricultural system production of the surroundings. This specialty is also open to other students from other universities of Paris-Saclay. And here again, we want to promote diversity among our students even. Related to this educational program, we have a strong basis for research. So here I want to show you one example among many others that we have, of course. But it's a kind of a success story of the development of a new product. So the research program was to develop a new sunscreen that would be beneficial for the environment, as it will be based on a biosourced product. It will be also safe for human, of course, as a sunscreen, it will protect from UVA and UVB, but also the molecule developed in the product should not be an endocrine disruptor. And finally, the product is also safe for animal health, as it is not toxic for coral reef. And it's a good example of how we integrated different scientists to work on this project from the beginning of the chain to the end. So we studied biomimetism to identify a new molecule that can be extracted from a plant-derived waste, here the mustard waste, and how we can extract this molecule and process it to develop a molecule that will have properties against UVA and UVB. And then further, this molecule will be integrated into the development of the product, which is a sunscreen. And it's a good example because we gather scientists from both Paris environment, but also from Reims, which is one of the 8 other locations for AgroParisTech. A second example is our biotechnology final year specialty. So we want our students that time to work on a different organisms level. So we want to promote education about biotechnology tools that can be used for human health approach, but also to study plant and microorganisms. As an example, they can study how we can identify and extract specialized metabolites from plants that can be used, for example, for the development of new drugs that can be used for animal and health and human health. As an example, the extraction of Taxol within the plants that can be used as an anti-cancer by blocking mitotic division in the cell. We also have an approach that can, for example, target the identification of microorganisms that can be beneficial in agriculture to produce in a more sustainable way the plant production, as an example. So in this case, we have a multi-organism approach, and we also promote transdisciplinary. So we have scientists coming again from different research and department area in AgroParisTech. We also have a collaboration with Paris-Saclay Environment by inviting scientists and professionals from the different industry that can be present, also other institutes. So linked to this education, we here again have a strong science background with scientists among the 250 scientists working on those topics. So here we decided to present you two examples within the biotechnology approach. One that can be seen through the prism of nutrition. So how can we improve animal nutrition to be done in a more sustainable way to produce meat of a better quality that can be used for improving the human nutrition. From the plant perspective, we also developed a new germination process, which is called a pulse germination process, mainly for leguminous seeds, and that has as a consequence to change the metabolomic features of the seeds and so the nutritional value. So here again, we have an impact on the human health nutrition. We also have scientists working on allergens, especially Ambrosia artemisifolia. So as you know, this is a main concern for public health. And one of our scientists characterized the molecule, and they identify the site of the molecule that is responsible of the allergenicity of the pollen of the plant. So here we see that when we combine a multi-scale approach, from the molecule to the plants, we can contribute to the health of the population. So now I'm going to leave again my director to present you the One Health Institute.
Thank you, Julia. I just would like to say that the two examples that Julia has just presented are the examples of programs that future high-ranking public officers with the French Ministry of Agriculture or the French Ministry of Environment can take when they are with us at AgroParisTech. That means that this type of examples, this type of education, will be very useful when they will take office in a different type of organization or different ministries when they will be in position of making decision. I'm now going to present you the current work in progress, as I have told you, concerning the One Health Institute. This started with a new national plan for health and environment in 2021, and we had two ministries involved in this new plan. This is not so frequent in France to have two different ministries working together, because as you probably know, bureaucracy loves working alone. So bringing together two different ministries, at least in France, is a big challenge. There were the ministries for the environment and the ministries for health, public health. Then a third ministry joined the process, the Ministry of Agriculture, and they decided all together to entrusted. This is a key word, especially once again in French bureaucracy. Trust is not so frequent. So they decided to entrust us and to ask us to build a proposal for the education of national public officers. So what are the three national higher education institutions in charge of this institute? So the name of the institute is Institute One Health, and I'm going to maybe to go directly to the three institutions. So you have three institutions of higher education. One is dedicated to public health. It's based in Rennes, in Brittany. There is also Vet AgroSup, based in Lyon, and AgroParisTech, and as I told you, we are mainly based in the Great Paris area. So the School of Public Health is in charge of the point of view of human health. Vet AgroSup, as you may guess, is dedicated to animal health, and we are in charge of environmental health. So that's already a big challenge because we are three different institutions in three different cities, not that close one to the others. So it's a big challenge, and our different boss, they, as I told you, they don't always agree one with the others. I mean, the three different ministries. The origin of the program was, as it was already explained before this morning, you may find the origin in a strategy against infectious diseases. So this was the very beginning, and it started in Lyon because Lyon in France is the capital city of research on infectious disease, both animal and human. So it started with Lyon, and it's the reason why the veterinary school of Lyon is involved in the project. And then it was decided to broaden the scope and to involve the environmental and human public health in the project. The idea is to address the challenge of global health, and as I already told you, the focus of this institute is to educate future and current public decision makers, and by the way, maybe also some private decision makers. So we focus on expertise and decision making, and we try to help these people to design new policies, public policies, to address the One Health issues. So I told you that this was work in progress. The launch of the institute, the public announcement of the launch of the institute was made in March of this year, and during the spring we set up the governance of the institute. We also, during the summer, we selected the different partners of the institute, and we are now working, we will soon work on the teaching program and on the different pedagogical approaches, and the official launch of the institute will be at the beginning of next year. And we hope to welcome and to host the first cohort of students in June 24. This is multi and cross-disciplinary approach, as it has already been explained this morning. We rely on different type of lecturers. We will try to create a One Health methodology for education, and we will also try to design the education program and training content by using the expertise of a large number of people, professionals, working in this field. So we set up a governance, we elaborate the different committees, and you can have them here on the screen with an organization committee and a steering committee. We try to invite a lot of stakeholders in the governance of the institute. These are the different partners we work with. A large part of them are based in Lyon, and actually that's one of the challenge because in Lyon you will find the veterinary school of medicine, the School of Veterinary Medicine, but you have also a very strong School of Medicine there. So we have to check that the balance between this big center, this big cluster in Lyon, and the cluster dedicated to public human health in Rennes, and the partners in charge of the environmental health, we have to check that this balance is well respected, that we still have a balance. That's one of the challenges. The other challenge is naturally linked to cross-disciplinarity. So I already mentioned the fact that the lecturers will come from the different members of the consortium, and they are experts from public, professional, academic organizations. And we also try, and you may find that among the partners there are private organizations, some pharmaceutical, from the pharmaceutical industry, for instance, and also from other type of business. The scientific content of One Health issues are naturally the emerging infectious diseases. We include the management of different type of risks, especially chemical and biological risks. We focus also on the links between environmental, animal and human health. This is one of our jobs at AgroParisTech. We try to take into account the pressure of biodiversity loss and climate change on these issues. We try also to involve social and economic approaches, as it was explained sooner this morning. And we also try to include the prevention and management of crisis. Everything has to be taken into account, as Julia explained it, by looking at these questions from a local point of view, from a territorial point of view, because that's on the ground that things are happening. Thank you for your attention, and we may try to answer your questions if you have any of them. Thank you.
Thank you.